Hey, what's up? Uh, it's Killer Pranstar here, but no, seriously. This video is about sort of a serious topic, so if you were expecting some cheesy drama, then put your popcorn away, please, because that's not really what I'm here for right now. Um, Basically, in this video, I just want to talk about a certain individual that's completely fucked over my experience with the Warlords community. But yeah, I'll just get right into it. And I'm going to leave a disclaimer right now before you start watching. Please, please, please excuse my shitty 40 FPS Zinkomania wannabe Shaman gameplay. And also my other gameplay of, I think I was playing Crusader at the time. Because, I'm playing on a computer that's basically microwave wrapped in tinfoil, powered by manure and crank, and I'm recording this on Apple headphones, so yeah, definitely got the best gaming setup out there. But anyway, um, basically, I kind of want to talk about uh, Felflame. Um, it's many of you know him, I'm sure. It's someone in the Warlords community that isn't exactly on best terms with everyone, but not everybody hates him. He's really a bad guy to other people. But yeah, I will put this out there right now. If you are friends with Felflame, if you are going to be friends with Felflame, or if you are anywhere more than friends with Felflame, if you get what I'm saying please do not, I guess, send me hate because of this, because I'm just going to be telling you my personal opinion and my personal problem with this person. And mainly, the purpose of this is a kind of a warning, because um, I kind of want to tell people and warn them that what you're getting into in a friendship with this person. And you may argue that Felflame is a changed person, but people don't change really until something happens to them, and I've always believed that. So, it's just like one day I'm gonna wake up and become completely introverted. Like, it doesn't really work like that. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. Um, let's start out with basically what Felflame has done to me, and then we'll talk about what I think about him. And, I feel like that'll be a good note to end the video on. Basically, I met Felflame in the past during his big party campaign. I'm sure most of you know that he was a very influential reason as to why parties used to be at the 3-player limit that they were. And, we met and in game and stuff, and it was chill. I actually enjoyed talking to him, and we became pretty good friends, actually. We talked almost every day in the summer, and I mean, yeah, we actually really enjoyed our time together and stuff like that. And I enjoyed Felflame. I wouldn't lie, he did go a little bit party Nazi on me, but it was just, at the time, nobody really liked parties. It was at a time of Warlords where getting a 90 was rare, and so when you saw parties of 90s steamroll through, it was practically impossible to play. So I understood. Anyway, Felflame joined my guild, Caliber, and basically, basically Felflame quickly befriended some of the members, but in a pretty short amount of time span, his behavior kind of turned south. And keep in mind, this is about no, not that long. This is about August of last year. So anyway, um, he basically had told one of the members in the guild, who were already suicidal but is not really in the Hypixel community anymore, to go hang himself with barbed wire. And obviously there's a lot of jokes about suicide these days, and it's like, okay, yeah, whatnot. But the thing is, this person was actually suicidal, and it bothered them. And obviously, Felflame isn't a psychic; he shouldn't have known that. But it's just a small problem. But just for the respect of the other person, I kicked him, and I kicked Felflame, and that was that. And you can say I had a bad reason to, or I'm like picky or heavy-hearted, but I don't know. I just kicked him at the time, and so, we kind of got into a big argument that, I was a mainstream guild leader, as he put it, and something like that. But yeah, after a little bit of talking and stuff, he just decided that he was just gonna, kind of just leave, I guess, and we just didn't really talk much after that at all whatsoever. So, I mean, after that whole incident scenario thing, um, uh, me and Felflame sort of just didn't talk for about a couple months, and he blocked me. By a couple months, I probably mean about 4 or 5. So, yeah. So December swings around, and he decided to make a slow return back into the Warlords community, and people were excited to see him, etc. And you know, at that time, I really didn't care about what happened. Honestly, it was the pettiest thing in the world, and I actually enjoyed having Felflame as a friend. So I wanted to continue being friends with this person, and I was happy. And I was like, hey, I mean, I guess he's gonna come back. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the guy, but I mean, still, like, I'm happy that he's gonna come back. Maybe I can talk to him sometime. Is my mindset at that time. So this is about January, and I'm not going to get into relationship drama because that is something that is not the topic of this video at all, and it is something that a lot of people don't want dumped on their plate. And yeah, so with that respect in mind, basically, at the time during January, I was dating someone in the Warlords community, and number one, that is sometimes a bad idea, so just keep that in mind before you do anything like that. But anyway, during that whole scenario, we kind of talked, and I mean, eventually we started dating, and and it went well. I mean, I was pretty happy with that, except for the end part of it. But that's obviously, once again, something I'm not going to get into, but it is related mainly as to why I have a major personal problem with Felflame. Anyway, so now I forgave him about this, and me and Felflame once again became friends. I started talking to him again, and this was about in March now. That we're gonna zoom ahead about 2 months now. And I began talking to him, and we were pretty good friends. And one day I noticed, he was going through a rough time, and so I wanted to help him. I really did. So, I mean, basically, what he came to me about was, the common cold of all psychological problems, which is depression and so on and so forth. Like problems that were private to him and whatnot, and anxiety. Just sort of like common things that you would kind of expect someone to be going through during rough patches in their life and whatnot. And it's hard. I mean, it is hard. Like, no matter how simple or common the problem it is, it's very hard. So I wanted to help him because he was my friend. And I met him. We were talking one day in a lobby, and after that, we sort of actually became close friends. I mean, before that, it was just sort of like a hey, or a, just talk once in a while. But after that, we sort of became close friends. And I started helping him through it. I helped him with most of the issues he was going through. I tried my best to. I mean, he said I helped him a lot, and I basically had, helped him through pretty much all the problems that he was going through. Made like a diet plan, an exercise plan, everything. How proper ways to act in the community and stuff. Not proper, but I should say less hostile ways to act in the community and stuff. And what he should have done in certain situations where he should have apologized to someone, etc., etc. So just petty problems here and there that was making his days go by better and better. And I was happy to, because he was my friend after all. And so March, we're kind of getting into the middle of March now, and this is over like the course of a week. So we became friends pretty quickly. After around March, me and this person sort of got into a breakup sort of scenario thing. Basically, that person didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to really have anything to do with me, and I was like totally okay with that. Actually, I was completely all right with that. I I was just kind of shaken by it, you know. I mean, obviously you would be, but in that situation. So anyway, so Felflame at the time was helping me with that, and you know, when he was helping me with that, you know, he would talk to me about. I confided pretty much my deepest feelings in him, and he would, you know, repeat some of the things I would say to him to help him out, and you know, it's a rough patch. I mean, like, friends help friends. So basically, during that whole phase, I kind of, you know, I still wanted this person that, and when I refer to this person, I'm referring as to the person I dated. So, uh, I kind of wanted this person to stay happy at the time in the Warlords community because I did not want this whole scenario to get out of hand or play into any drama or, you know, just affect their whole gaming sort of social life at all, really. So I kind of just wanted them to stay happy and, you know, we could just move past it or something. And I was even willing to be friends with this person. So, I mean, um, so basically after that, uh, after that whole incident, Felflame kind of just, I told him that. So I told him that I wanted to keep this person happy. And, so Felflame pretty much, sorry, I had to mute my mic there. Felflame pretty much told me at that point that, um, you know, he kind of just out of the blue sort of just told me that he wanted to actually date this person to keep them happy. And that hit me pretty hard. It's, if I can put it in an analogy about how the uncomfortable feeling it was kind of like you going through a breakup and you know, you kind of tell your best friend that it happened, and maybe about less than 24 hours after that he comes up to you and he says, oh, can I date the person? And I mean, you're like, I mean, of course, I mean, like, I can't control his emotions. I'm not responsible for that person at all either anyway. I mean, I'm not their partner or anything. I mean, they are free to have whatever they want to have, but it's just kind of weird how he told me that. And I mean, that's just a personal issue once again. I mean, he's allowed to have whatever he has. So, yeah, that's what I thought. And I was like, all right, that's kind of definitely what I want to be hearing right now. And so I just kind of just didn't say anything about it at the time. And yeah, so this is about 1 week before I had to leave the Warlords community for a certain set of issues that many of you may know. But Felflame basically started to sort of drive a wedge between me and this person. And this was actually me and this person kind of made up, and we were like, okay, let's be friends. And we continued playing Warlords. And I actually enjoyed that week of spring break. That was pretty enjoyable for me. That wasn't stressful. It wasn't depressing. You know, it was like I could still be friends with people and stuff. But it was always, you know, just kind of uncomfortable how he felt about this person. So Felflame pretty much told me that. And, you know, over this course of the week, it was so uncomfortable just in calls and just here and there. There would be occasional flirting, and it was just, I couldn't really put myself in the environment, and it sort of it gave off the vibe that I didn't enjoy their company, and which I did because both of them were my friends at the time. So I mean, yeah, that's sort of the vibe I kind of gave off, and I didn't want it to be like that. So I would usually just not talk to them as much. And so I don't know why it translated in his head as to, I'm going to date her to make you happy, but that's basically what he was going for. And so and in defense of this other person, not only was it making me uncomfortable, it was making her uncomfortable as well. So basically, during the course of that week, he began to start saying false things about me, or things that I would say about her, and twist them, and pretty much tell them. If I can put it up to you, that entire week of what Felflame did in a quick story, it's like going to your friend and saying, "Shh, don't. I'm gonna tell you a secret about him, but don't tell him I told you that." And then he goes to the other friend and says the exact same thing, and vice versa. And each time he does it, it's something different and completely false. And you start to form in your head a sort of bad perception because you're trusting this person. This person, you helped them through a rough patch. They helped you through a rough patch. You are trusting this person fully, and they're telling you these things, so I believe them. I mean, you may call me a fool for that, but I mean, that's what I would have said. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I he started driving a wedge between me and this person, and basically he would tell me things that made it seem like the other person hated me and hated the relationship. And if they did so, then they wouldn't have been my closest friend at the time. And it didn't make much sense to me, but at the time, we never really kind of just absorb things in the heat of the moment when you're going through some emotional stuff. So I mean that was my fault pretty much for not catching that. But he basically double crossed us and sort of just backstabbed my trust. And I was kind of disappointed, but like that this person presumably didn't like me and whatnot, but I decided to just keep it to myself. And eventually one day me and the other person figured out what was going on. And once we figured out, I was pissed. I mean, I was pissed. Like, I couldn't even understand the feeling. And the other thing was that the person that I was presumably best friends with and had broken up with didn't believe anything I was saying when I told her that, I didn't say any of those things. But she totally disproved of some things I said. So it was just sort of like, okay, it was just kind of weird. And so we found out, and once we found out, we called him, and we got into a call, and I was about to lash out at him. I mean, I think I had a right to, but I didn't, because this person had actually developed a feeling of care or affection towards Felflame in the 1 week time. And that hurt more, because it wasn't even like this person was mad at Felflame, but this person was more mad at me for absolutely no reason I could think of. And I was I was so confused. I was like, oh, I mean, you're definitely on me with this. Let's go get this guy. And, then it was like, okay, what? Just wait, what? And so, I don't know. It was just kind of stupid. And then, that same very day, me and the person got into an argument, and they ended up leaving the Warlords community. And it was because of me, apparently, and I got blamed for that also, which I still don't know why. But after all that whole thing, Felflame had apologized to me. And when a liar gets caught and he'll start doing a little bit of irrational things such as anger, sadness, etc. Well, I never condone self-harm to anyone ever, and I am sorry if this wasn't an empty threat, but I believe at the time that there is no possible way that this actually could have, I don't know, it just didn't add up in my head how the very next day he had told me that, he did some pretty irrational things the night before, and he was really upset about this after finding out. And I was so pissed off in a mood that I didn't want to help him with it, but I did encourage him and tell him not to. I told him that is really not the thing to do, and I do not want to be responsible. Even if I don't particularly like this person, I do not want to be a responsibility. And even I don't even know if I take responsibility for it, but even involved in the fact that someone has to hurt themselves. And, that was that. Honestly, like, I left the Warlords community soon after, and I didn't speak to Felflame afterwards. And, he sort of then just tried to avoid the topic because he thought I was chill about it. And initially I never got an apology, actually. This was what basically made me lose faith in me ever trying to fully forgive him ever again was when he pretty much asked me to endorse him on his endorse him on his stupid Trump Felflame shit, whatever it was. And I was, I didn't even know what to say. He was like, endorse me as Bernie Pranders, and before you leave. And I was like, what? Really? Is that the last thing you want to say to me before I completely block you off Skype and, I gotta go and stuff? Like, I mean, it was just absolutely absurd. I literally could not comprehend what was going through his head at the time. Like, if that was even a sensible thing to say to someone. And so I just said, sure, why the hell not? And once again, I did not want this to get out of hand at all and, cause a shitstorm right before I left. I wanted to leave on a pretty good note. So I did not attack the person at all. I did not attack Felflame at all. I didn't even say anything. I just went ahead and did it anyway. And about a month later, after some influencing by a couple of people on the Warlords community forums that sort of nudged him to sort of just, I don't know, influenced him, I guess, or I should say inspired him, as he put it, to basically apologize, right? Which didn't think was sincere at all, and I'll tell you why. A month later, he apologizes, and I was contacted by one of my guildmates about this, and I was like, wow, okay, this is a weird one. And there he was apologizing to people he had a bad history with in the Warlords community, and he specifically called me out and specifically apologized to me. And at that point, with no hard feelings and what I was going through at the time, I mean, it's still kind of hard feelings, but they weren't strong, if you know what I'm saying. And because I'm not really one to hold grudges not too much, and at the time I was like, wow, okay, I can forgive you, but I will never be your friend again. Meaning I wouldn't hate you. I wouldn't ever have a bad intention of doing anything to you, but don't expect me to treat you like a friend again or trust you, basically, was my mindset. And I was like ready to just like forgive him and just forget about what happened and stuff. And, just not, I mean, I'd obviously not be his friend because it was still a factor, but, and so I sort of did. He messaged me a huge paragraph thing on Skype, and I read it, and I contacted him back, and I was like, wow, okay, well, it kind of takes some balls to apologize about something, a private matter, publicly. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I guess I'll apologize to you. I'm fine, I guess, whatever. I mean, sorry, not apologize, forgive you. Sorry, my bad, mix of words. And I was like, okay, and he asked me if we could be friends, and I said, maybe not now, probably not now. And, I hope he understood that, and he did. And now, it took me a while, right? But it doesn't take long to figure out that apology was complete and utter bullshit. I mean, you can call me false on that, and you can say, oh, Pran, you don't have any proof, but trust me, I mean, it doesn't take much. With a guy who spends most of his day in TeamSpeak, it really doesn't take much to figure out what he says. And it was complete bullshit. It didn't really mean anything, and it was basically him acting the same way he did, because in the thread I listened, he was going to fix his toxicity in the way he kind of called out people, and no, not really. He still behaves like a child most of the time, and I'm not gonna lie, he is 13. So I mean, and you have no idea how many people have asked me how old he is, but anyway, I'm not gonna lie, he isn't exactly expected to act any older, but once again, I'm expecting him to act like a sensible human being. And so you kind of figure out it all means kind of bullshit because just the way he acts still. And once again, I'm going to get to the last thing. Sort of the extremely vulgar comments and after all of this, right, I had figured out that during that 1 week period back in March, he had made fun of me about my condition and stuff. And that made me absolutely fucking pissed off. And then now I'm going to get to the case about what's been annoying me now and why I should even bring this up. I don't want anyone to actually get affected by this person anymore. Not only that, but I'm going to put this out there before I make this claim. I have proof about it, but I technically don't. Let me get to why. For the last, I should say 6 days, my router has been getting intensely DDoSed. By the time you're watching this video, we've hit about maybe 200 to 250 times. It's not even about maybe 5 o'clock, and I've been DDoSed 42 times today. This is kind of ridiculous. It's going to a point where my dad's in an interview, and we get hit offline for 10 minutes, and I have to explain to him why. And the reason I'm bringing this up in this video is because there was an anonymous Skype account, and they had claimed to be Felflame, or at least associated with him, I should say. And I completely blocked, deleted, and wiped all traces of him and Felflame and anyone that would have been suspicious or would have DDoSed me at all from Skype, so that they couldn't grab my IP. Once again, I was a little too late for that, and basically, I have been getting DDoS ridiculously, and it's coming to a point where I can't even enjoy myself. And once again, I'm not accusing Felflame, but I have only been given that much information. I am looking into it. It's kind of unlikely that it is, but just from what the Skype said, and just from what I've heard, it is really sketchy, and it's stupid. It's coming to a point where I can't even enjoy myself, and neither can my family, and I have to sort of explain to them that, hey, Dad, I play Mine Man, and I'm getting possibly, not fully blamed, but possibly being DDoSed by a 13-year-old who manipulated me out of a relationship. So, I mean, I don't know why we're actually getting DDoSed. I didn't do anything wrong, so that's that too. So, once again, I am telling you right now, I am looking into it, and I'm pretty sure that it might not be but from like I said, from what I know and what I've heard and what I've been told, I'm going to assume it was him, and that's what I'm going off of right now. And I'm sorry if that accusation was false, but that still does not excuse anything that's been going on recently, or your behavior kind of recently. And just a fair warning, again, one more warning. Felflame has never, ever really had a good history with, I should say, women in the Warlords community. So, I mean, if you really need to talk about it and if it was traumatizing, I'm down to talk. Especially you, Natawa. That might have been a little bit too much shade to throw. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to sum up in this video. And to summarize everything, and if you want to skip to this part at the, I'll put a link if you didn't want to watch the entire 20-minute rant. Felflame is a manipulative cunt, and pretty much had driven me to the point where I couldn't be friends with a person, couldn't have a peaceful end to really much of the stuff I had in Warlords, besides probably leaving. And I'm absolutely distrustful, and pretty much I'm basically just scared to trust people that I wouldn't know are already credible. So that's basically where it's left me. And, he still goes about frolicking through his days, and, I mean, it's easy to say sorry on a thread, and even though it means complete bullshit, I mean, it is easy to say it, but I mean, it's not going to fix anything, and it is a warning. So before you become friends with this person, before you, confide your feelings in this person, and or before you possibly become anywhere more than friends with this person, I advise you to probably watch this video and take into consideration. And once again, you don't have to hate me because I hate him. And once again, he may have been a changed person, but it's very unlikely. I mean, it's been about, 6 months maybe? I highly doubt it. But, yeah. And I can't believe I forgave him twice, even after helping him and all that. I really don't know what to say. Mostly the anger has subsided, because by the time you're watching this video, it would have been the 5th or 6th take, and each take is getting a little less vulgar and angry, so I've probably had to say this about 5 or 6 times, and I'm more disappointed now, just thinking about it in my head, but I don't want to ever bring this up ever again, publicly, unless, you want to go ahead and PM me however you can, forums, Twitter, Skype, whatever, and talk about it and ask any further questions. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And thank you for listening. And sorry about my shitty gameplay once again. I'm not like a YouTuber or anything, or I don't have money to spend on stuff like that. So I do with what I can. But anyway, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Keep an eye out for the guy and enjoy your Warlords grinding and whatnot. Peace.